Welcome, it is I, your very strange self-publishing YouTuber. It's time for the Just Stab Me Now almost 2-year sales update, brought to you by numbers. It's 2025, we're somewhere between Canadian Thanksgiving and American Thanksgiving, and while I am neither Canadian nor American, I am thankful. Some of you are just going to be here for the numbers, so I will put timestamps down below if you just want to skip to the good part. Brief explanation for the uninitiated. I'm Jill Bearup, I am a full-time YouTuber. Yes, it is nice work if you can get it. And in 2022, I made a YouTube sketch series about an author named Caroline Lindley. I think we're going to do great things together. Her recalcitrant heroine, Lady Rosamund Hawkhurst, and the story that ensued when Caroline tried to force her extremely practical heroine into the standard romantasy tropes. I might already be too late. And I had such a beautiful evening planned. Candlelight, dancing, flirtatious threats. And what do I get? Grand Theft Equine. While I was making the series, a lot of people asked for a book, and I did not at any point think, how hard can it be? Because that is crazy talk. I did, however, think, a lot of people have asked for this. Maybe I should try. And just to add insult to injury, I didn't just write the book, I also self-published it. There are a lot of reasons that I decided to self-publish, and if you like, I could make a video about those, but chief among them was that when you write something that's part contemporary romance, part fantasy romance, and part kind of meta thing that's a bit like The Princess Bride, I guess, where do you go in the shop? What kind of publisher publishes this kind of book? Several people who worked at several different kinds of publishers, sci-fi and fantasy, romance, romantasy specifically, requested the manuscript, and then read the manuscript. And for the later drafts at least, the feedback was, I really like your book, and I really like your cover, but I can't market this. This is not my genre. Because what genre even is it? Luckily, I knew some people who would buy it, and so I went and watched a lot of self-publishing videos on YouTube and got stuck in. After an amount of work that we will lightly skate over, because those of you who were here for the process know that it was not, shall we say, enjoyable. Just Stab Me Now came out in paperback and ebook on the 5th of February 2024. The audiobook turned out to be a series of cascading disasters. I have never had so much trouble with a professional project in my life. It took us 18 months and 4 complete recordings. But in mid-2025, it came out on Patreon and on Audible, and as of the beginning of October 2025, it had started to appear on other platforms. It's definitely on Spotify. I think it's on Storytel. It may well be some other places. At this point, I've just given up. Side note to the authors in the audience, have you ever had nightmares directly relating to your book? Because if you have, please tell me in the comments so I feel less alone. The hardback, which contains larger font sizes and also a map at the front, it is exactly the kind of map you would expect Caroline to draw, by the way, came out in October 2025, and, well, it didn't really have any pre-orders, so it's basically just been out for 3 weeks with very little in the way of advertising because I've been trying to figure out what's going on with the audiobook. If you have seen those videos, yeah, you'll know. If you haven't, I will link them. Regardless, in the last 3 weeks it has indeed sold a few hundred copies, so we'll throw those in there too. And now, and you've no idea how much it pleases me to say this, no more formats need to be created by me. There is a hardback, there is a paperback, there is an ebook, there is an audiobook, and those are all of the formats you can get books in, as far as I'm aware. And if there are any more formats, I don't want to know about them. Now to the good part. How many books did I sell between pre-orders for the ebook going up in August of 2023 and October of 2025. Paperbacks. I sold 11,097 paperbacks through Amazon KDP and 17,238 paperbacks through Ingram Spark. This gives me a total of 28,335. Ebooks. Pray listen to these numbers if you've ever wondered why people go for Amazon exclusivity. Kindle, 16,732 copies. Ingram Spark, 3,459 copies. Google Books, 463 copies. Patreon, 353 copies. Baen, about 300 copies. Total, 20,954 ebooks. Alright, audiobooks. Again, listen to these numbers when it comes to sales figures specifically, because I made roughly the same amount of money on Patreon and Audible, but you'll see. Audible, 3,669 sales. Patreon, 935 sales. I want to pronounce it Ko-Fi, like hi-fi, but apparently it's pronounced coffee. 9 sales. As for Spotify and all of those other platforms that I was having so much trouble getting onto, about 250 listens on Spotify, if I'm reading the data correctly, but for all of the other platforms, It's been up less than 3 weeks. I have received absolutely zero data. Maybe when the audiobook's been out for a year, then we can come back and see how those did. So the audiobook total is about 4,863. Hardbacks, which came out 3 weeks ago and had, I guess, a couple of weeks of pre-order, during which I didn't really talk about it because I was trying to fix the audiobook, 316 sales. Since that is over 100 a week for the official sales period, I'm pretty happy with that, making our grand total 54,468 copies of Just Stab Me Now. That is a lot of books, and I am extremely grateful, but it's not just that it's a lot of books that makes me happy, it's the fact that people are still buying it. The book came out at the beginning of 2024, but in 2025 I still sold, I don't know, roughly 1,000 books a month on average across formats. That's, you know what, I'm pretty happy with that. And now to the question which is on some of your lips. How much money did I make from this? I will put the amount in Great British Pounds on the screen because that is my usual currency, but my actual total is, let me make sure I get this right, $187,165.50. In my last sales update video, I told you that I spent about $10,000 in total on things like book editing, audiobook editing, cover design, typesetting, all of that kind of stuff. And a couple of people who were thinking about self-publishing really freaked out at this number, but you should not really freak out at this number because it is not a number that necessarily applies to you. First of all, the majority of that money was for editing costs. I had quite a lot of help with editing. I had Annie Persick, I had Bella Woods, and I had Stephanie Eagleson. I also had Scott Perry for cover art design and audiobook editing, and I had Libristimas Ferrage, who did all of the typesetting. If you're thinking, wow, it looks really beautiful inside your book with all the text messages and the manuscript comments and stuff, that's Libris. And when Scott asked me, hey, do you want to do something really different for the hardback version of your book? I said, absolutely not. You, my friend, are a victim of your own success, because people have told me that they disliked basically every single aspect of this book. There was like too much Rosamund, there was not enough Rosamund, there was too much Caroline, there was not enough Caroline. Why was there this subplot about IT? I don't know. But nobody, not one person said, I don't like your cover. Everyone who mentioned the cover was like, wow, that's a really great cover. So no, I said, we're going to maybe jig some things around a bit and add a little fake sticker that says, no, it has a map. It even has a map. And of course we have this beautiful Caladrius swords and daggers design on the actual hardback cover. But no, we're not changing the green and the pink, because we worked really hard on that and I like it a lot. Anyway, if you are self-publishing, the reason I'm telling you not to freak out about the price is because, first of all, you should have critique partners and beta readers, and that will cut down on your editing costs. I'm not saying you won't need professional editing, I'm just saying that they will be able to do a lot of the things that my editors helped me with. You know the adage, fast, cheap, good, pick two? Yeah, I chose fast and good. I did not need cheap, because I knew that there were people out there who really wanted to buy the book, and I needed it to be fast so they didn't forget that the book existed and then forget to buy it. And I needed it to be good because it would be a serious letdown if people had supported the series and supported me on Patreon to help me write the book, and then they bought the book and then they went, All this to say, wow, that's a lot of books, and thank you for buying them. Obviously, a substantial chunk of that money has gone to taxes, but as I said in my previous update video, I paid off my house with some of the money that I got from that, and I bought a suit of armor. Now, the clothing for the suit of armor, in which I look like Lansknecht Ronald McDonald, honestly, but I love it. It is very nearly finished, but I'm going for a fitting probably this week. The hideous light fixture remains, but its days are numbered, my friends. Its days are numbered. And for those of you who are regular viewers of the channel, I hope you are enjoying Caroline's adventures with her new heroine. I make absolutely zero promises that you will get a book out of Bren's adventures. Stranger things have happened, but badgering me about it will not change my mind one way or the other. Just so you know. You now have every format of the book that it is within my gift to give you. Obviously, I cannot guarantee you that you're going to get some kind of film adaptation or whatever, because I'm not a production company. But again, you never know, so I'll keep you up to date. Hopefully, I will see you next Monday for more of Bren's adventures with Caroline. Or if you're a patron or a channel member, you can watch the compilation of the first 10 episodes, which is how many I've done so far. But I have filmed some of episodes 11 to 13, so expect those, patrons and channel members, in the next week or two. So I have a friend who sometimes goes and reads the Just Stab Me Now reviews and tells me about, the nice ones or the funny ones or whatever. And he said, did you know that you got a review on Goodreads where someone DNF'd your book because they couldn't get past all of the grammar and spelling errors? I must conclude that this person does not understand British English and has never been exposed to it.